Welcome to Wrestling is Hard, where every side is the dark side of the ring. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Follow us and subscribe on YouTube. You ever want to find out how handsome we are? You can watch us every week. My phone's ringing. Email us questions and complaints.
Hot start.
WrestlingIsHard@gmail.com. I'm Jim. Brandon, hello. How was your week?
What's up, Jim? I'm good. I'm all right, man. In the throes of that post-holiday, nothing to look forward to time of year. Just gonna sit down and knock some weeks out here, enjoying nothing except for a little bit of TJPW, AEW.
Yeah, there was nothing else to watch. Yesterday was Blue Monday. Happy Blue Monday. The saddest day of the year.
Sure felt like it. Boom, boom, boom. How are you doing, Chris?
Chris, how are you?
I'm doing well. Spent the last week of my life with my new obsession, the FX television series, What We Do in the Shadows, which is, I don't like too much on TV. And yeah, that show's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, really fucking funny.
Yeah, it is. Brandon,
And,
familiar?
No, I never even heard of it. What We Do in the Shadows?
Yes. Go out of your way to watch it. You don't have to watch the movie. Just watch the series. It's on Hulu.
Oh, they got a movie?
They do have a movie. Taika Waititi. Familiar with him? Director?
Now, you know me. I just hang out on the YouTube.
So do we now. Follow us on YouTube.
That's right.
Subscribe. We're on Wrestling is Hard Productions. You can find us there. We produce content, so it's a production company.
That's right.
Don't try to steal it.
Chris,
What?
anything
LLC?
else? What else you got going on, Chris? Come on.
Nothing.
Anything good? No juice?
Juice. Watch Peacemaker.
Brandon, did you watch that? Should we review it?
No, I didn't. What?
It does star a certain John Cena.
We can review it.
Yeah. Can you get caught
Peacemaker?
up? Peacemaker. 30-minute
How
episodes.
far in are we?
3 episodes. New episodes air every Thursday, I believe.
Yeah, so by next week, it'll be 4.
By next week, we can talk about it. Because it's the dry times, brother. There ain't nothing to talk about.
I'll check out Peacemaker.
Yeah.
What is he wearing on his head?
It's a toilet seat,
Peacemaker
as they always call it.
Toilet seat.
Prison toilet seat.
Got a gold mushroom tip.
Have you watched The Suicide Squad yet?
Me?
Yeah.
You say yet as if there's like a time where I will. No, I'll never watch anything like that.
The Suicide Squad is very good. Not Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad. Very entertaining film. Right, Chris? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it months ago. I thought it was great. I really
Fucking
enjoyed
insane. I watched it at the bar. It was
A lot of
insane.
fun.
And then I watched it at home. And my wife liked it too. So we watched.
Mhm.
He's a character, the Peacemaker, John Cena. And there's all kinds of people. And I got all kinds of theories. So I'd love to talk about it.
Yeah, it's good.
Should we talk about wrestling? I don't really want to.
No. Thank you for joining us this week, and we'll see you next week at the Wrestling is Hard Productions.
Peacemaker Productions.
Peacemaker Productions. What else did I watch this week? Nothing. I watch wrestling. TJPW had a show on Itaewon, January 4th. We'll get into that real quick. What'd you think, Brandon? It was pretty damn good. These women, I just want to preface this. A lot of women's professional wrestling, they're all like associated in some way, shape, or form with the old All Japan women's wrestling. Zenjo, as they call it. Teachers, trainers, they're all like descendants of it. TJPW isn't. They're completely free of that. I think Dick Togo was one of their original trainers. So it's like Michinoku Pro stuff. But it gives an interesting, like more goofy, silly side to professional wrestling. Brandon, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, so I watched 2 of these, the Maki Ito match and the Yuka Sakazaki match. But the third one, I did that thing where I'm like, well, let me just tighten this up. And then I realized 45 minutes has passed, and I cleaned my whole basement and didn't watch it, didn't have time to go back. One positive, one negative. So you go first, and then I'll tell you which one is which. But
No, go ahead. I'd rather hear your positive and negative. Go ahead.
Okay. Positive, Yuka Sakazaki and Yuki Arai. I thought this was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad this came up this week after the rant that I went on last week about Adam Cole versus Jake Atlas and Wheeler Yuta or whoever. I like that because Sakazaki immediately sends a message at the beginning of the match by like putting her opponent in sort of basic holds, like even a bear hug, and you see her having a nightmare of a time getting out of them. It's like, okay, there's a clear skill difference here, and she's, using simple wrestling technique to show that, hey, this isn't what your average opponent can do. From there, she kind of dominated throughout the match. And, without commentary, that gave me the ability to go, okay, one of these two is a superstar. The other is trying to prove to everyone that she just deserves to be there, as opposed to the superstar coming down to them and the outcome of the match is decided by anything outside of like the skill of the two people. So I thought like them allowing some skill gap in there and telling a story different than what we usually see made it more compelling. I was a big fan.
Chris, thoughts? Did you watch?
Yeah, I watched. I agree with Brandon. I didn't know anything about these guys coming into this show, coming into watching it. I thought all the matches, all three, I think it was 3 matches that we watched. They were all really good. I was only familiar with, actually, no, 3 people, one person in each match, I believe I was familiar with. But yeah, that first match was that Yuka Sakazaki match. It's exactly what Brandon was saying, where it was like, I'm the heavy here, and I'm just gonna basically, I'm going to showcase how much we're going to showcase how much better I am or more experienced I am than you, and how that experience will just pretty much override whatever skill level that you have at that point in your career. So yeah, definitely a good match and definitely a good way to tell a story there.
Also, we get Hikari Noah versus Maki Ito. Maki Ito wins. Maki Ito is now the international champ. People unfamiliar. You guys, maybe you're unfamiliar. The international champ was supposed to be defended overseas. And Maki Ito, the face of TJPW in the United States for sure, and in Britain, is now the international champion. I wouldn't be surprised if she comes over here. Well, I would be a little surprised if she just is on AEW Dark and losing all the time. But Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think I can really do Maki Ito anymore, to be honest. It's probably not going to want to hear me say this. I don't want to lay into it, but the incessant screaming throughout the entire match when she's exerting herself made it like I couldn't get past it. I tried watching it with the sound off. It's like you can't watch it with the sound on without this apartment I'm in ain't too big, and just if it's not annoying me, it's going to certainly annoying the other person in the house. It's just it was took away from the match to the point where I had a hard time focusing on what was going on, because it's almost the entirety of the match. So I don't want to give I don't want to just trash her and say don't watch it, but it was too much for me.
What'd you think of Hikari Noah though?
Yeah, talented. I mean, it was a well wrestled match. I enjoyed both of them. It seemed I did a little bit of reading to understand the story, where Hikari Noah, even though she's young, I guess is like kind of handing over the title here. This match wasn't necessarily about her, I guess, but it was kind of the end of her first title run. They're really skilled. Again, I don't think that's the problem. So
she's obsessed with death matches. So we'll get to death matches in a minute. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I have a hard time with the emoting in a lot of these Japanese women's matches. That's what kind of takes me out of them. But I mean, like I said, they're all starting. I'm starting to warm up on the whole thing because I'm getting a better idea of what's going on and who people are. I am starting. It's one thing, and it's a Japanese wrestling trope to begin with. And I was going to say something about this last week, but I'm starting to get to the point where I can do without the elbow exchanges. It's in every single match, and it's a lot of times a big chunk of every single match. So, but other than that, like I said, good match. Maki Ito, like I wasn't aware that was the international title. So it would make sense because that's the woman from TJPW that I would assume most people in the United States that are familiar with that at all are going to kind of gravitate to. So.
With that, let me transition to this. So this company named Prestige Wrestling. Now I don't know how real this is or not. They haven't had a show since 2019. They said they've reached an agreement with TJPW to run some shows on the West Coast as soon as they're able to. I mean, that's exciting, I guess, but I know it seems a little weird because TJPW didn't retweet it or anything. They didn't mention it. So I don't know what that means, but I mean, coming with the international title, I mean, hopefully they can travel. I don't know. All right, let's move on. Mizuki challenged Miyo Yamashita for the Princess Championship. Brandon, thoughts?
Didn't catch this one, so you guys go ahead.
Oh, you were cleaning the floor. That's right. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I guess it's my review of pretty much it's every Japanese women's wrestling match is that, my lack of knowledge of what the hell's going on. Just kind of by the time I get 3-4 matches deep, I just kind of get taken out of it.
Did you listen to English commentary?
Yeah, I listened to. No, I mean they
okay.
explained it. I did listen to the English commentary, but just saying. I mean, it just kind of slipped in and slipped out. I mean, it was a fun match. Once again, it's a fun match to watch. But when I'm not aware of the backstory as much, it's kind of hard to keep my attention. So I found myself staring at my phone a lot during this, and that's not to knock the product itself. That's just me.
It actually is.
No.
You're not interested is definitely a knock on a product.
No, it's not. Maybe it's a knock on me. Right? Remember, I like MASH, so my taste is shit.
Brandon, your thoughts on MASH?
Hated MASH. One of the worst daytime television shows I'd experienced when I was being babysat by my grandparents. So that was that in Little House of the Prairie, where Little House on the Prairie, where 1A and 1B is snooze fest.
So would you take Little House on the Prairie greater than, less than, or equal to Makito screaming in a match?
I would have to go with Little House on the Prairie because there's a chance that my Grammy might fall asleep when someone isn't incessantly screaming, and I can plug in that PS2, get a little Grand Theft Auto going when she passes out. That's what I used to do back in the day. But
ooh. Let me just chime in because I forgot to say this last week.
Mm-hmm.
You brought up Grand Theft Auto. I have Grand Theft Auto 3, 4, and 5 for the Nintendo Switch.
Right.
And it's the exact same game, except they reskinned it.
Yeah, they reskinned it. I've been seeing reviews about this.
So when he walks in, he's got a more defined face. Remember, like Grand Theft Auto 3, where they'd be like, hey, listen, I need you to go down to the docks.
Block ass hands.
Pick one of my girls up with Tony Macaroni and drive her over to the thing. And then he would just kind of go like,
square ass face.
Yeah. Yeah. And the funny thing is I'm trying to play it without smashing into other cars while you're going from mission to mission, which is completely impossible to do.
Yeah.
And then eventually the mania just takes you over. You're like, yeah.
Especially after a failed mission where you're just like, fucking, I'm killing everyone because
you got like 20 cop cars chasing you. Yeah, exactly.
Put the code in for the tank.
I got to look it up. I forget it. I haven't had a chance to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just basically enhanced like the awkward anglature of the original game. I'm not sure that it actually looks better, but yeah, I started playing San Andreas again.
Yeah, it just looks different.
I'm playing The Witcher 3 again.
There you go.
Well, it's all about these games that we're just playing again. I don't want anything new. I don't want anything new.
No. I have a new game on the horizon.
Game Pass.
You have the Game Pass?
Yeah, I have.
Wait a minute. You guys both have Xbox, right?
Right.
Yeah, I have the PS.
I have a game on the horizon that is going to coincide with my purchase of a next-gen system. But other than that.
Is it Grand Theft Auto X?
Yes. Grand Theft Auto X.
Is it WWE 4K16 or whatever?
Mm-hmm. With Adrian Neville's magical cape.
Did you, Brandon, did you catch this out or check this out on Twitter? The people were upset that Rey Mysterio Jr. is on the cover of the new WWE show, game.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know why you would be upset about Rey Mysterio being on the cover. I feel like that's an awesome cover. What was the heat?
I think it's more younger generation. I don't remember Rey Mysterio Jr. being probably one of the most influential luchadors in the history of the universe.
I'm going to go. I don't even think there's a probably attached to that.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're going to go like El Santo.
But I mean, he didn't hold. He wasn't. It was in a WWF guy, WWE guy.
Right.
You know, he's not world. I guess he would be world renowned. Yeah, Mil Mascaras, one of those guys.
Mil
too.
Mascaras.
Yeah. I guess I had to put them up there as well.
Half of the Stardom roster says they're inspired by Rey Mysterio Jr.
I think they all do the 619 at one point.
They all do the 619.
Yeah, every single one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always like just hearing that makes me reminded of how strange the public is. That I don't know what that reaction is where you don't understand something or you're not informed enough, so it must be bad. Like when I was young and I don't know, Bret Hart's on the cover and Bret Hart was gone by 1998 on WWF when I was watching it. I don't know how the fuck why would your reaction ever be, this is bullshit. This guy is hardly a part of this. Like, what?
Like, who cares?
Maybe you missed something and it's cool for other people. Yeah.
How about instead of
I'm not enjoying this, how about maybe other people will? That'd be cool. Go ahead, Chris.
How about instead of focusing on the fact that fucking who's on the cover of the goddamn game, focus on the fact that the game has been fucking broken for the last 20 fucking years. It's the same game over and over again, and it never fucking works.
I bought one, downloaded it years ago just to create myself and 4 different versions of myself. And then the game was unplayable. I just spent 3 hours building dudes. This game sucks. There's so many bugs. That's the best part about the new WWE games is that you get those videos of bug compilations where dudes are just flopping, like flopping in and out
into the heavens.
Yeah. Are you going to buy it, Chris? I know you're a big fan.
No, absolutely not. I'll never buy another game from them again.
I probably will, honestly. Not when it's $60, but when it goes down to like $29.99, because they shut it off. They shut it off for a year and rebuilt it ground up. So I'm like, oh, see what they did.
Black Friday sales, brother.
I'm trying to think. I think I have WWE 2K Battlegrounds. I think I have it on the Switch. And
what is that?
It's like an NBA Jam style, over the top, cartoon style wrestling game.
Mm-hmm.
And you can you accumulate like experience points, and you can unlock different wrestlers and different gear. And when you go to the unlock screens, they're inside toy packaging, banging on the toy packaging, trying to get out. And I remember I played it for about 20 minutes and then it broke. And then I realized it's fucking broken. Like every other fucking WWF game, it's fucking like I played it for a while and then all of a sudden like the game was freezing and that's
the reason why I stopped playing. We just mentioned The Witcher. That's the reason I stopped playing The Witcher 3, because it started like conking out on me. But then I realized I just had it running on fucking pause, charging on rest mode for days. And then jumping back in and being like, yeah, this should work fine, instead of turning it off. Yeah, poor Geralt. All right, should we talk about more wrestling?
Wrestling video games.
All right, let's talk about, how about this? Mustafa Ali asked for his release. Brandon, thoughts? Mustafa Ali, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm envious.
Sorry,
yeah.
WWE.
I'm envious that dude's at the point in his life where he can get a consistent paycheck and work a couple times a year, and he's able to ask for them to turn the cash faucet off. So good for him. He said he has a message bigger than wrestling. I looked up that he doesn't think he can get across in WWE. I don't know where he thinks he's going to get it across. I think there's probably it's a little overcrowded for anyone to be making any major messages in AEW. So I wouldn't be so confident. We'll see where he ends up.
Yeah, this is the guy that. Mustafa, or is he Mustafa? I don't know how you pronounce his name. Ali is a guy that he became a police officer to change it from within, and then when he realized he couldn't, he quit. Yeah, and then he was like, "Oh, I'll be a professional wrestler. I'll try to change it from within." Maybe he's quitting because he can't change it from within. I wouldn't be surprised if it has something to do with this Saudi Arabia show coming up. What if they had him coming in on like a fucking carpet or some racist ass bullshit?
That was one thing I heard. The one article I read mentioned that Vince had asked him to do something that, without describing it, was something that he would never do. So I'm assuming it was some tropish, racist thing.
Chris, thoughts on Mustafa Ali or Mustafa Ali?
I good for him. If you feel like you're in a position in which you can quit your job because you don't like the way you're being used or being treated, good for you. I'm glad you can quit. I wish, but at the same time, I don't know, where, if you're unhappy, leave. But I don't know where he's going to get his message across. Not that he's not like, it's just think of the world, the wrestling universe. I mean, where are you going to go to get your message across? Some fucking gymnasium in fucking the middle of Kansas. I mean, you're
Well,
the wrestling. Go
He's
ahead.
catching shit from wrestling fans. They were calling him, the classic terrorist and stuff like that. And he was just like, my parents are from fucking Pakistan. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, this is what the world he decided to jump into. I know he wants to change it from the inside, but that's one of those ones where you're just like, wrestling fans.
Yeah. You want to change.
They ain't smart, bro.
You want to change the perception of or the way that wrestling fans not only already think, but through their favorite product, their favorite television program has conditioned them to think for the last 50 fucking years. Right? I'm trying to think as we're talking about this. Has there ever been a like a Middle Eastern baby face ever? No, right? I mean, look, if somebody
I'm
could
thinking
tell
about it. Hold on.
Yeah.
Was Jinder Mahal at any point babyface? I think maybe
No.
the crowd slightly, but
When he was in 3BN, what was it? 3-man band, 3MB.
Well, hold on. Let's. If I'm
But
not
he was a heel
mistaken,
then too.
He's Indian.
They're Indian though. He's Indian. He's
Yeah.
Pakistani. That's not Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to say.
No,
like,
there's never been. But you think the
All right,
Iron
let's
Sheik? Let's think of
hold on.
actual Middle Easterns, Saudis.
Let me hold on. Let me just put this in a way that we can frame it, that it'll make sense. Has there ever been a wrestler from a country that a fucking ignorant racist piece of shit would just assume that everybody from that country is a terrorist? Has there ever been like a baby face from any of those places?
Just as a reminder, WWE actually had a terrorist wrestler who had bombs strapped on.
Yeah.
Do you remember his name?
9/11 happened. It was
The fuck is his name?
he was an Italian guy. It was
Muhammad Hassan.
Muhammad Hassan.
Muhammad. Yeah,
But he was Italian, wasn't he? Look it up. See, somebody look it up. I think he's an Italian guy. They also had Tiger Jet Singh Jr.
Indian.
Yeah. But heel.
Yeah, heel, of course.
Muhammad Hassan, real name Mark Kopani.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark. Mark from
Hey,
Jersey.
Marcus.
Hey,
My mother named me for Marcus Aurelius because she said when I was born she could see the wisdom in my eyes.
He's from Syracuse.
I'm from Syracuse, New York.
Hey,
pal.
I'm from Syracuse.
Come on into the office. Can you play a terrorist, pal?
Muhammad Hassan was billed from Detroit, Michigan. It's funny that they did that. Like, they didn't want to go as far as to make him an international terrorist. They're just like, where does people hate? Like, I don't know, Detroit. In 2004.
Sorry, from Detroit.
04
move on.
Detroit. All right,
Let's
yeah,
stop talking about racist shit. Let's move on. Let's talk about. Well, we're going to talk about some more weird shit. But
I know it's coming.
all right. How about WWE? They someone from WWE. I don't know. You can pull up. I don't fucking care. We're just going to go to the generalized. Talks to Toronto newspaper and says that basically saying that I don't know what sponsors would want to work with AEW because AEW self-mutilating women are on TV. Why would you want to work with them? Brandon, thoughts?
I don't have too much interesting to say here. The only thing I thought was compelling about this press release or leaked interview is that WWE specifically lists out who they care about and their decision making in specific order, where they're like, I don't know why you would do that, because this is who they put in this order: network partners, then sponsors, then venues, in fourth place, children, and then last, the general public. Like,
there you go.
You shouldn't do this because
Because of these.
eventually we get to children.
Chris, thoughts?
fucking bizarro world. It really
How
is,
about-
man.
Right
I
after
liked it better when
venues.
you didn't know any of this shit.
WWE will be fucking to do racial stereotypes all over the place, but blood on TV, gotta
No,
worry about the
can't do
children.
it.
After the stockholders, after the sponsor.
If the venues like it, but the children don't, venues trump children. Children
Yeah.
come
Yes.
fourth.
Oh boy, I'm curious how AEW kind of responded. The people involved with the match, they were talking about the TJ versus the Bunny and Chris Statlander match from a couple of weeks ago, which I have on our match of the year list because I thought it was fucking amazing, especially the Bunny doing the split skis into labia down thumbtacks. Yeah, I'm curious how AEW kind of responds. If you were to be petty, which I'm a big fan of being petty, they should do an entire deathmatch show. 2 hours of Dynamite where they're just bleeding all over the fucking place.
I think you're in luck because they're the owner of AEW seems to be a big fan of being fucking petty too.
Yeah.
So
Good stuff.
yeah.
Good.
Although I'm not a big fan of thumbtacks, but anytime genitalia is being smashed into them,
Oh my god,
that's a big.
I'm a big fan
thumbs
of
up for me.
2 spots with thumbtacks. The one I watched the other day with labia down, and when they jam them in your mouth and they kick you in the face. I'm a huge.
That's a
fan
good
of
one.
that. That's a good one.
They dump them in a funnel.
Yeah, and then just kick you in the face. Huge fan. It's so stupid. I wonder if anybody swallows them, like accidentally.
Sure.
Had to have happened, right?
Duke them out.
Shit out of thumbtack. Must feel good. Woo! All right. Let's go. What else? Should we talk about more AEW? We got all kinds of weird stuff to talk about because we don't really want to talk about AEW because it stunk.
Let's get it out of the way.
Let's talk about melts. Excuse me. I just burped on our video medium. I just burped. So Meltzer, first of all, this blew my mind. I did not know this. So Elimination Chamber, I mean, it makes sense. Elimination Chamber, when they have an Elimination Chamber in a place where, let's say, genocide has taken place, they change the name. So Elimination Chamber in Germany is called something else. It's called like
No Escape.
Knockout. No Escape, it's called. That blew my mind. I mean, it makes sense, but I didn't think
I thought that was
WWE would be sensitive about that at all.
Well,
Eliminate. Yeah, Chris.
that could also be German television. Tell them they have to change the name. I don't know that No Escape is any fucking better than the Elimination Chamber. I mean, obviously, yeah, Elimination
What does it
Chamber
say?
in Germany is pretty bad, but
I-
No Escape, it's just fucking shitty as hell too.
Holocaust, not funny, but what does it say on the front? What did it say on the front of Auschwitz? Work equals freedom. Work means freedom.
I have
I think
no
that's what it
idea.
is. I think it does say that.
Yeah.
So there you go. But Meltzer takes it upon himself because everybody gets on their soapbox whenever they go to Saudi Arabia, instead of like actually not watching the product.
Yeah, it's
Work
boycott
sets-
the product.
Work sets you free. That's what it said.
Work set you free. There you go. They get on their soapbox and they're Saudi Arabia. Well, Meltzer says, well, they're going to have the Elimination Chamber in Saudi Arabia. I guess Auschwitz was not available for this. I guess making a correlation between the murders that happen on a regular basis, Saudi Arabia against political and social enemies of the state, and the Holocaust. Brandon, thoughts?
Oh, I'm glad we're getting out all the hot takes here. As soon as we decide to post our faces on YouTube, saying all this stuff. So, I get. This is what I'll say. I get that why people were upset at the tone that this old bozo used to reference the Holocaust. But I don't think it's that big of a false equivalency to compare the genocide that's happening in Saudi Arabia to Auschwitz, and I don't know why people were that pissed about that. They are killing tens of thousands of people in Yemen, so it's I think it honestly should be more of a big deal and brought up more often, without the hey, let's make a silly little joke here, I guess.
Right.
Way.
Right. I agree with you. It should be more forward and less wink, wink, nudge, nudge, people die.
Yeah.
Chris, thoughts?
It's a
Video medium.
whenever we bring up Meltzer, my brain just like I can't even comment.
Did you say something about brains?
My brain,
because Shibata's brain was removed from his body during surgery.
Yeah, he took it out,
put
it back in, washed it, put it back.
Watch
Saturn V, Hector.
Yeah, look up Saturn V. There you go. That's our Meltzer news for the week. Do we have any other Meltzer news? Do you say anything else stupid? No, right?
No.
I mean, I'm sure he did. In my world.
Yeah. How about this one? Okay. Before we move on to AEW. So, Cody Rhodes supposedly is working without a contract. Now this is released through Fightful Select, I believe, during an interview. And this has caused people to speculate, along with the Mickie James announcement, has caused people to speculate. Everybody's going to be in the Royal Rumble. Jon Moxley is going to be in the Royal Rumble. Moose is going to be in the Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes is going to be in the Royal Rumble. The only way I could see Cody Rhodes being in the Royal Rumble and accepting it, not that I think it's going to happen, is if he shows up at the Royal Rumble, and I saw this on Twitter, I'm stealing the joke, signs his contract for AEW, and then throws himself over the top. That would be amazing. Brandon, thoughts on any of this being true?
Yeah, that would be amazing. One of two things is happening here, and this honestly did confuse me. It's either one, this is their way of like Cody Rhodes is going to go appear with this TNT title on other shows, or they're coming up with some creative way that this is part of the story, or this is just like a bizarre fuck up by AEW that's like leaked out now in the negotiations, which I think is less likely to be true, but I prefer that this is the truth, that they started this company and for some reason only signed the people that built the company to like 2-year contracts, two or 3-year contracts. So like it slipped off their radar that now they're no longer employed.
Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, isn't this guy like a owner of this company?
EVP or something?
EVP? I mean, how is he not contracted?
This is all bullshit. It's fucking work.
It's horse shit.
He's probably he's going to sign his contract tonight or tomorrow night on fucking Dynamite.
Because they did post like a big deal that he was going to be on Dynamite tomorrow night. So
yeah, we'll get to Dynamite's card.
Fucking
later.
Great.
I don't understand. Like, it's so uninteresting as a work that it's like almost. That's why it made me second guess it, because I'm like, what? There's no risk of this guy disappearing. He's an owner of the. It's like Tony Khan might part ways with AEW. It's like, no, he fucking runs it.
It doesn't make sense.
It's his.
It does have the dopes, the WWE dopes. All of a sudden, are praising Cody as this great professional wrestler. It's coming back though, which I always love. WWE fans, there's such a weird thing, and you see it online in particular. It's just this like, well, WWE versus AEW, or we can't enjoy the other person's product. I want to watch the other person fail. It's so weird. And then as soon as somebody like Cody supposedly doesn't have a contract, might come back, then all of a sudden it's like, Cody's coming back, and it's gonna, AEW's going down. We got Cody. Cody's the best. It's like, what the fuck? Geez, you fucking crew of hypocrites. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, Brendan.
Yeah, this podcast is nothing like the rest of the wrestling internet. I will say that. I've gotten, especially because following more people on here, I still fuck around with TikTok at night, and I've gotten into like pro wrestling TikTok. And there's these guys that are like big in this world that have hundreds of thousands of followers. This kid did the other night, he did rank like his top 10 theme songs. Number 1 all time, he said, was Metalingus. And I look, I'm like, dude, that's like the worst song I've ever heard. I look at the comments and they're like, great choice.
Which one's Metalingus? Is that Edge?
Edge. It was between Edge and Randy Orton's, which I think are like 2 of the worst songs I've ever heard in my life. So
I disagree. I love Metalingus.
Cunnilingus. I mean, Metalingus is the only thing better than Metalingus is Cunnilingus.
Cunnilingus.
Yeah.
Fellatio Cunnilingus.
Metalingus blows.
Is the only thing better than you know what Metalingus is? Like the actual definition of Metalingus?
Yeah, Chris, give it to us.
All right, that is when you perform cunnilingus on a woman who just went labia first to do a pile of thumbtacks.
Yes.
This is metalingus.
I thought it was Metalingus is when you perform cunnilingus on the T1000 in liquid metal form.
And if you rewind this on our new video feed, you could slow it down and actually see my eyeballs start to move around as I was formulating that joke on the fly.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Yes.
Quick wit.
Anything else? No, nothing. I'd mentioned women's death matches. I watched Prominence, which is the new women's death match from a bunch of girls that used to be in ice ribbon wrestling in Japan. They're doing preview shows, so it's basically like a news conference. So it's like a stage with a cage around it, seating, and we're talking about like folding chairs facing it like it's a stage, like you're going to see a bad show, which you are. And they perform a couple of death matches, and then they have a press conference and they talk about death matches. It's fucking ridiculous. It's on Wrestling Universe. Wrestling Universe, best bang for your buck.
And like an expose.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Little
They're
sample.
bleeding all over the place. What's that?
Here's a little
Chris,
sample.
Yeah. Here's a little taste of what you could get. Cunnilingus and Metalingus. All right, here we go. Let's go over AEW. Oh, boy. AEW, the critics of AEW, they say it every week. They say, unless there's a massive reveal during their weekly show, it kind of stinks. And here's an example. Good boy. We can do our Bleacher Report. Okay, so Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish opened the show. Do you remember any of this?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Brandon, you remember any of this? Oh, I do. Yeah, because Britt Baker comes out.
Yeah, I remember how this ended. I don't remember why. Who was there a match to start this?
No.
Promo
Promo City.
Just
Promo
Kyle O'Reilly talking about how they want to win the titles.
Yeah, promo into the Bucks coming out because
The one
that's what
buck.
the world needs.
Yeah, $1 says, I beat COVID in 2 days. So he was facing like shit.
You can see
Go
all
home.
the little.
Go to
You can
bed.
see all the little gray balls with red spikes on them flying out of his mouth and attaching them to other people's cells.
I'm such a manly man.
And and then Wheeler Yuta and the rest of that crew came out, and then it was the same thing over and over again.
Then
It's really entertaining.
Alien Girl goes one-on-one, tries to go one-on-one with Adam Cole. And then Britt Baker comes out and attacks her from behind, curb stomps her. And then we get a sweet-ass make-out between Britt Baker and Adam Cole.
The passion, the power and the passion.
Lust.
Deep tongue, lashing COVID everywhere.
It thumbtacks in their mouth.
I'm assuming Britt Baker is now with these guys. Brandon thoughts.
Kind of funny if you want to be a heel to just kind of sneak stuff in there where you don't believe in COVID or that you're here 2 days after you had COVID and you're already over it, like just anti-science shit. Like,
So
I got COVID in 2 days. I think that's kind of funny. No, I don't know. Incels probably pissed. The official confirmation Britt Baker's kissing a dude. Not that interesting though. They got dudes want the titles, other dudes want the titles. Who's gonna win the titles?
And now they got girls with the dudes, so at least you get a couple of girls, but it's still 10 dudes in the ring. More dudes. Chris, thoughts?
Well, the other thing about this is that it's not going to end. Because what in my prediction here is, and I think it's not really too much of a stretch. I don't think I'm saying anything nobody else has thought of, that it's going to be basically. It's going to end up being Adam Cole and the Red Dragon guys, and then we'll have babyface Young Bucks and Kenny Omega will come back, and then we'll just stuck with those 6 dudes for the next year and a half.
Yay, PWG.
So none of this is going to change anytime soon.
I don't have any
the same shit over and over again.
Okay,
Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
No. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you guys tell me if you do, but I don't have any equity built up with Red Dragon. Where I'm imagining in Young Bucks' minds, this is some sort of dream tag team thing to get these 4 facing off. But to me, it just comes off as like everybody that's watching this show was either a fan of pre AEW Young Bucks work or NXT with Kyle O'Reilly, and to watch both of these factions sort of repeat stuff that they've done just feels like an uninteresting thing for what was supposed to be the exciting, like, oh, they're free to do what they want to do.
I am more of the New Japan version of Young Bucks versus Red Dragon. That's my attachment to it. But we're talking about, that's 5 years ago. Easy.
Longer
Chris?
than that. Yeah.
Longer
right?
than that?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, no, it's almost like they have this philosophy of, if it didn't happen on our TV, it's never happened before. So we'll just do everything again and again. AEW.
Oh, I disagree with that. I think
Yeah.
that they rely heavily on people knowing who these people are by the stuff they did other places.
I guess I'm
WWE
not.
only.
I think that's what he.
WWE
I think that's
is
what Chris
only.
means.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Like, all right, we're gonna present something as brand new that I don't know how to say this. I don't think I represented myself, because they are definitely recognizing the fact that all this shit happened before. But it's almost like, yeah, but it hasn't happened here yet, so it's new, even though it's happened somewhere else. That's what I guess I'm trying to say.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's official because now it's an AEW. Everything happened before that was cool, but now it's happening in AEW. It's cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I got you.
P.S. Adam Cole's jacket sucks.
Brandon, final thoughts on this? Anything you see coming out of this? Anything fun? I'll be disappointed if we don't get Statlander versus Adam Cole. We got to get some fucking fucking matches.
Something.
We need intergender matches. This is bullshit. Every other company besides WWE does it. Just fucking do it already.
I agree.
No, I don't have anything else besides this likely being the most boring part of the show again in the future.
Right. How about CM Punk versus Wardlow? This was not terrible. I kind of enjoyed it. Big throwback to Diesel versus Bret Hart back in the day. Roll up win. It was pretty good. Wardlow looked like a machine. I thought it was good. Brandon, thoughts? Oh, Bleacher Report is in an A. I don't know if it's an A. Bleacher Report gave the last segment a B+. I would say this is a B-.
I don't know what the Diesel match that you're referencing is, so that didn't mean anything to me. I didn't pick up on that. But it's, to me, I'm just not particularly interested in these Mortal Kombat Tower storylines where to get to the guy that you want to fight, you have to go through the faction. So it's the outcome is more predetermined than the typical predetermined outcome, and to have a match where you just kind of squeezed in the roll up at the end didn't do too much for me.
Well, if you can think of my theory, I don't think we get MJF versus Punk at the end of this. I don't think that's the payoff. I think the payoff is Wardlow versus MJF. I think we're going to get MJF versus Punk. Wardlow fucks over MJF. We get Wardlow versus MJF as the feud coming out of it. I think that adds a little bit of an interesting twist to it. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that. I didn't think about it that way, but I agree with that because, first of all, we're just rerunning Chris Jericho and MJF from last year, right? I mean, if we go the same way that they're going, like, the way that it looks like that it's progressing towards. But no, I was actually kind of like on the edge of my seat because I didn't know what they were going to do. Not that I was so excited that I was just like, well, how are they going to do this? And that, especially on weekly television, is kind of like you almost know where it's going to go, but how are we going to get there? And the how sometimes gives you more excitement than the result itself. And I thought they did a really good job. It made Wardlow look like a monster. He loses to CM Punk. CM Punk slicks him. MJF basically shoots himself in the foot because he's such an asshole. So all the things that you could want to happen kind of happen. Then you get the almost turn, which hasn't happened yet, but we all know it's going to happen eventually. Then you have a mid-card heel wrestler dictating terms as to who's going to fight who and when.
This fucking guy. We're talking about chairman.
Yeah. Well, no, I wasn't talking about chairman. I was talking about MJF dictating matches.
I don't know if he's mid card, but go ahead.
Yeah,
Well,
in
I
our
mean,
hearts.
yeah. I mean, no, I mean he could. He right now with what they're doing, I guess. Like, he hasn't main evented a pay-per-view. I don't know. I don't know why I said mid card, but you know what I mean. He's just this dude is just going to run around and say, "Hey, look, I work for this company, but you're going to wrestle him, and he's going to
That
wrestle
doesn't
him."
make
He's
any
just
sense.
making matches and throwing them into the ring. It doesn't make any
He's
sense.
like, yeah, I'm scheduled to wrestle, but instead, you're going to wrestle for me. And nobody's like, yeah.
You
Well,
don't
I mean, obviously,
know.
this isn't the real world, but the real world would be like, yeah, but we already promised the people in the audience, and they paid the ticket to watch this.
Right. And the other
Like,
thing
you
is like,
imagine Dana White being like, yeah, it's cool. You guys, you decide. No, you're not going to fight. Some guy that's worse is going to fight.
well,
cool.
the funny
Same
thing is
payday.
that when people, because that actually happens sometimes in UFC where fighters will talk shit and they're going to say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to fight so and so next," something along those lines. That whenever a reporter asks Dana White, he goes, "Yeah, no, not happening."
Yeah, right.
And no, that's never going to happen. Sorry, he's not.
That's, yeah. Yeah, Brandon.
No, I don't. Oh, I was gonna say that the chairman thing was hilarious because he's the classic. Ty Dillinger was like the first wave of, oh, he's gonna be so much better in AEW, like all this untapped potential, and you never really see him on television. So in his head when he gets his 90 seconds or whatever, this was something that he's probably pondered over for who knows how long. And it was just so boring. It was so boring what he had to say.
Yes.
And he did the thing where he was like, I get stuff done. That's why they call me the chairman. Just nothing interesting. But he goes, oh, but it's a lot deeper than that, or there's a lot more to me than that. So it's like, I'm not saying it right now. My only opportunity of the quarter for me to be compelling. I didn't think of it yet, but just leaving it out there that there is at some point there is more to me. So I thought that was just kind of funny and a little bit pathetic.
The only thing I've liked in AEW that he's done so far was when he was in the room full of chairs, the chairman, and he was sitting like he was about to do a line from Chicago. That was the only thing. That was the only good part. That's the only thing he did.
Okay, all right. So the only thing I ever saw that I liked is when they had no fans in the beginning of the no fans in Daly's place, and him and MJF were betting. And they got caught. Something happened that he got in trouble, and he was like, "What?" That was it. Other than that, and I was looking on some Instagram comments on some post from AEW with him involved, with Tenman involved in it, and he gets a lot of love, man.
Yeah,
I mean, people love him. Oh, they should go back to the Perfect 10, and he was so good in NXT, and it was like he was first on the pay-per-view. If he was he was pre-show material.
10 minutes.
There was a reason why, because if you ever listen to any of the podcasts, usually it ended up before Jericho lost his mind, before it was blatantly obvious that he was out of his fucking tree.
Yeah, we've talked about this before where everybody praises him.
People praised him. And okay, look, you're in that business. He's your coworker. You obviously know him better than any of us, and I'll take your word for it, and that's fine. There's more to somebody's worth inside of a company and whether or not they can perform on that one aspect of a company, right? But we talked about it before. He never got called up, and when he did, he was gone immediately.
Tenman.
He was only good for coming out 10th at the Royal Rumble.
Right, that was the only good part.
That was it. Once they did that, he was done.
Can we trade Tenman for the guy with the selfie stick? What was his name? Tyler Breeze?
Tyler Breeze. I'll take him.
I would like Tyler Breeze. Can we trade him for selfie stick guy?
Take the two of them, the two goofballs, Tyler Breeze and the other guy, Fandango.
Booking AEW right now is like the easiest job ever. It's just like complete nonsense comes out, and there's a remarkable amount of people online, and they're like, I love this guy.
This is
what
the best.
At what
he
point
was so
fall
misused
in love with anything that he's done ever.
Chicago.
Dante Martin versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Okay, this match happens. Classic Powerhouse Hobbs. He gets stupided out of his fucking ring, out of his win. He's too dumb to win. But Jay Lethal is now involved in this. Any thoughts, Brandon? Jay Lethal, not on TV, now suddenly he is.
No, I don't. The only thing I recall about this I thought was interesting was that they were trying to retire Dante Martin, and they kept referencing all of the head trauma that they were trying to give him throughout the match, which it's just such a bizarre thing to be doing. I almost found it funny.
That was
Especially
funny. Good.
To like a 22-year-old, like we need to beat this guy's brain into retirement in like 18 minutes here. Come on, Powerhouse.
Taz kept saying it too. He's like, "Well, you've been going after this man forever. What will be your the only way he'll be happy if he retires? He's got to retire. I want him to retire."
Yeah. And then they were like, Taz, like he's pretty good at the improv when he's commentating. They ask him why or how Dante Martin got out of his contract, and Taz is like, I got bad lawyers. He's like, I can't. He's like, nobody could.
Yeah, that was excellent.
Like, I do have a.
That was excellent. I got a bad legal team. What do you want me to do?
Good stuff.
Like that's
okay.
sorry, just to hammer it up. That's perfect. Like that. It's fucking funny and makes things more interesting when it's like. Like everybody at AEW is such this like one-dimensional. They have one emotion and they exude it each time you see them. Just those subtle things from Taz where he's trying to fuck the world and run a faction, and he's like exposes himself as a like behind the scenes there is some hack lawyers back here, but that's besides the point.
Matt Hardy does a good job of doing that too, where he's supposed to be rich money man, but he's a failure. It's entertaining. Yeah. I don't want to see him in the ring anymore, but I
don't know. I think we need that every once in a while.
A little Matt Hardy to be
reminded. Matt Hardy just reminded of how immobile the guy is.
And I do like. Go ahead, Chris.
I do like Powerhouse Hobbs. Where like if you want to, all right. So we talked about this before, where it's like you get these guys, when an Adam Cole wrestles whatever Tony Atlas or whatever his name, Tony Atlas, Jake Atlas. Tony Atlas. He wrestles Jake Atlas, and Jake Atlas just, it almost beats him, and then you get you have a young guy like Powerhouse Hobbs who he dummies himself, right? That's how young guys lose shit, right? They're good. They're talented. Got a lot of raw talent, but they're just they do dumb shit and they lose. And I like how that happened to him. You know what I mean? Like you think he should have just gone there and kicked this guy's fucking ass. He's huge. He's a fucking monster, but he does some dipshit thing because he's overconfident and he loses.
He's interesting because first of all, he's super new to this.
Yeah.
But he's fun to watch and he's believable in every match, even though his character he's a dope. But he's a guy that you can easily, Powerhouse Hobbs I'm talking about, you can easily heat up and then all of a sudden he's a monster that is going to fight in a babyface underdog. Yeah. Like you could suddenly heat him up and be like, oh, he's on how AEW does it. Oh, he won 12 matches on fucking Dark. Let's have a main event. And it gets believable. Guys like that are believable. 10 Min is not believable.
No.
Something believable.
It was pointed out to me by my wife about 10 Min.
Yes.
That 10 Min wears nothing under his suit.
Oh, not at all. I don't think he even wears underwear.
He doesn't wear socks.
No socks.
No socks. No shirt. I'm just assuming Dick is flopping.
Little fucking Canadian
swinging
dick.
Chairs.
Little Canadian dick slapping against the zipper.
Why's it got to be little?
Jim, what has been revealed to you that would make you think that he doesn't even wear underwear?
I've got vids.
Maybe that 10 isn't the number 10. Maybe it's 10 inches.
Well, it's Canada, so it'd be 10 centimeters.
10 cms?
Maybe it's 10.
That's not bad.
10 meters.
That's okay.
It's like fucking Legend of the Overfiend shooting lasers out of it.
Whoa. Like a dragon. I like it. All right, let's move on. 10 Min doesn't wear underwear. Thoughts? Hangman Adam Page comes to the ring. Cowboy shit. The MMA guy, Dan Lambert, comes out. He does his usual thing. It wasn't terrible this time because he's talking about somebody else besides Jericho. Lance Archer comes to the ring, and Dan Lambert runs away, but Lance Archer attacks Page. So we got Archer versus Page as a halfway decent. I just talked about it. Heat a guy up, monster heel, halfway decent guy for Adam Page. Get the shit kicked out of him and then win. I'm into it. Get a guaranteed win under your belt and make him look stronger. But Well, Brandon, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this works. I think it's good for Hangman to have face a different style of wrestler than Omega or Danielson, like switch up the type of stuff he's doing after we just watched 90 minutes of what he can do versus someone like Bryan Danielson. That being said, and I don't care about this, I think it's funny more than anything, but talk about instantly heat somebody up. The last time we saw this guy, he almost paralyzed himself during the Tony Nese reveal to jump directly onto his own jump directly on his own head and knocked himself out.
I forgot that.
They bring him back and they're like, "You're the title contender." I just find funny to be like, who's up next for prove they're the best wrestler? The guy that's been off for 6 months because he just concussed himself.
Yeah, if nobody remembers, he did like a moonsault, right? But he lands right on his fucking head. We're talking about Lance Archer. And he lands, and it's terrifying looking, but they immediately pan to Tony Nese in the crowd. I'm sure they already planned to do that. And Tony Nese's face is just like, he's shaking his head like, yeah, I approve of this man dying in the ring.
He's supposed to be like cool. Yeah, I got my eye on this, but he's half like, oh my God, is Lance Archer paralyzed? Because it was under 1 second ago until they went to him for the first time ever on TNT. So
Tony Nese is here.
Little blooper.
You got the paramedic.
Meanwhile, they're airlifting fucking Lance Archer out of the stadium. They got to cut a hole in the roof so they can drop a line down and helicopter him out.
Hopefully, we get more Jake the Snake too.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You just stole my line there. I thought I was going to. Nah, I'm only kidding. I was going to say the same thing. If it's going to give us more sake than nake, then I am fucking all over this. No, I thought this was good. And that fucking terrifying bump through a fucking chair.
Yeah, good stuff.
Oh, God. That was another one I was watching in bed and I saw it happen. I was just like, why?
More Adam Page bleeding all over the place.
Yeah.
Getting Lance Archer's insanely bad back tattoo in the prime time, too.
That's the best.
He used to have a tramp stamp.
He talks shit about it. He talks shit about it all the time.
Yeah, he's a huge tramp. He used to have a huge
he still kind of does.
Yeah,
he's always giant
oozing out the sides of his.
What does it look like? It's a it's the three crosses on the
crosses.
Mountain, right?
What's that called?
What's that called?
I can't remember what that's called.
It's not Megiddo. It's doesn't matter. Let's move on. Let's see what came out of this. What else came out of this? Jericho and Kingston. Jericho's doing a promo backstage talking about Blockhead. When Kingston comes up, right? And didn't this happen? Is this the show?
Yeah, I think this is the show. Jericho has now become changed channel material.
I liked Eddie Kingston coming in, sliding into his screen, into a camera, and then just like looking at the camera and going, yup, and then start talking shit. That was good. I just want to see Kingston own fucking Jericho on TV. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, no, that's all I was going to say. I'm predicting this is coming. Kingston is going to absolutely obliterate 50-plus-year-old plugged up Chris Jericho in the next month or so here, because the stuff Jericho's been bringing to the table is like worse than ever. But he thinks it's like rules, and to half these people it kind of does. They go fucking bananas when he comes out.
One thing I did like on Rampage was just to skip ahead a little bit was Young Boy came out and everybody was singing his song, and Jericho was on commentary and he's like, I hate when people sing the songs of the wrestlers, but and he just like continued on his little thing. I was like, look at Jericho. It's funny.
Tough sledding.
Jericho wasn't obvious. I mean, I'm sure he was always a horrible human being, but it wasn't outwardly always a horrible human being.
I used to love Chris Jericho.
It's still one of my favorites of all time. It's very sad to me to see how the mighty have fallen. Pretty soon, we'll be doing this podcast for another 20 years. We'll be holograms in people's houses, standing there talking, and I'll be talking about how Jericho will be in the rafters, and then it'll just come down. He'll be the new one after Ric Flair ascends.
After Ric Flair dies.
He'll never die. He ascends. He's got car shield money now. We're good, dude. He's gonna buy that immortal technology, whatever it is.
That weird commercial where It's got what's his name in it too, the guy from fucking Impact and NXT in it.
Oh, that one hasn't been on recently. I'm a big daytime television crap guy. And
what's that wrestler's name? I forgot.
That was LA Knight.
LA Knight.
He was the what the hell was his name? The Overcharger. The Overcharger. And he had coveralls on with the sleeves cut off. And Ric Flair looked down and was like, woo! And now when you look at him, he's got this, like, you got to watch it. You got to see the new one. You got to see the new one because he's got this look, like this hollow seriousness. Like got this. That one.
Because they rolled him out on a dialysis machine.
When death's around the corner, you got to get car shield because you may get your car and then you're going to die and it's going to be stuck and I'm going to die. Look at me. Can you see the death in my eyes?
Who does this?
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair does the car shield. And pretty soon he'll be telling you how you can get more money on your Social Security check every month.
Yeah, he's gonna be doing what's the
oh no, what just happened?
What's the
podcast
it called?
Just got plugged up.
Oh, there he is. Whoa, look at those plugs. Look at those things.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's pre-plug.
That's pre-plug.
He was cleaning them up, getting that area on his forehead ready.
Now you could see he's got they're coming out right up here, and then it's stick is gonna be right behind it.
He's going to be Ric Flair is going to be doing consumer cellular between Jeopardy rounds on Channel 6.
Yeah, he's going to be out there with Joe Namath and Jimmy Walker and Ric Flair, and they'll be selling. Woo! You can get more money.
You got mesothelioma. Whoa!
I had no idea that
Jay Lethal had the
car shield.
Dude, there's like 20 of them. Sit back and relax and watch them when you're done, or watch
LA
them
Knight. The LA Knight one's the best.
Yeah, it's insane.
I'm the Overcharger, and I'm going to charge it. And Ric Flair's like, woo! And he does this serious bump. He's like, ow! And then Ric Flair, because he's,
Car shield, sir.
Car shield. I'm looking at people, but all I see is the Grim Reaper, because he's right around the corner.
Death smiles. All right, let's move on.
Somebody took Rick's yogurt. There's a post that says Rick's yogurt in the fridge of this Car Shield commercial. And he busts some like 25-year-old guy over the head with the chair. Holy shit.
Car Shield starring Ric Flair. Go look it up. Hikaru Shida versus Serena Deeb in a grudge match. Deeb attacks Shida from behind, takes out her knee. And now Serena Deeb is going home. Not Serena Deeb. Hikaru Shida is going home to Japan for the New Year's holidays. So we'll see you in a couple months. Go visit your family. Brandon, thoughts? Heard some Shida Deeb slander when I listened to back last week while I was taking a pee. I am a big fan of this feud. I think it's been stretched out perfectly. It's been going on since summertime. Good.
I don't even remember what I said. It's probably just picked something to complain about, but
probably.
Yeah, I don't.
A ringleader here, so we just started bitching. It was the only thing we knew how to do without your direction.
Jim's not here to be positive.
I hate everything.
Go ahead, Brandon.
I don't really have anything. I don't know if it was 3 minutes. Twerked her knee again. I guess just checking in. Hey, they're still pissed at each other. Serena Deeb's still ruthless. I guess it'll be a couple months apparently till they circle back on this one. But I mean, these two against each other definitely works. I don't know what that asshole last week was saying.
Chris, that asshole?
No, I mean me.
You too.
So I would assume that that Hikaru Shida goes away, and then Serena Deeb will go on a reign of terror over the next few months and beat up every AEW dark babyface there is. And I'm fairly certain we know who it'll probably, at some point, one of those baby faces will be legit Layla Hirsch. Okay, fucking nuked on
She's
TV.
not a babyface anymore. She's a heel now.
Oh, did she turn heel?
Yeah.
And
you didn't watch Rampage? Why not? It's so much fun.
She's got her own.
I fell asleep and I forgot to go back. All right, well that's good then. I'm glad to hear that.
Her own story.
But I could watch these. You have so many fucking people. This was the complaint last week. You got so many people. Give me a few weeks between these. That's all. That's all I'm asking. That's it.
What?
Between matches, between talking about it. Let me miss it. before you bring it
And the
back.
internet will complain that they're not seen every week.
Fuck them.
You know, one of the great things, we're going to talk about Seattle Miedo in a minute. One of the great things about Lucha Underground, and one of the things that we love the most about Lucha Underground, I can only speak for myself, is that they had like this huge roster, but they weren't always available, and they filmed it like a TV show, so they filmed it in clumps.
Mm-hmm.
And just as soon as a guy wasn't on TV for a couple of weeks and you started to think, where's Aerostar been? He would pop up on TV all of a sudden. You'd be like, oh, there he is. Where's Drago? Where's, I don't know, fucking Blue Demon Jr.? Like, where's
Sagrada?
They would just show up, and you'd be like, okay.
Where was the gigantic guy with the belt that was whipping people in the crowd?
Oh, the big chubby guy?
Oh, God.
That was so good.
That's
that belt match? What was that?
That was Ultima Lucha
Hernandez?
1.
It was Hernandez versus... Fuck. I don't even know where to watch Lucha Underground anymore. It used to
We
be on
found
Netflix.
it. It's somewhere out there.
I think it's on like
not
TV
Netflix
or something
anymore.
like that.
Yeah, it's on one.
Oh my God, it's so good. We might have to do that. We might have to. We're in another down spiral of shitty wrestling. We might have to watch Lucha Underground.
But well, here's the difference, though. This is from my unlearned opinion. Writing television, sometimes they write these wrestling shows. A lot of these guys have been around for a long time, and they write these wrestling shows. So they're writing a weekly territory.
And they have to. I get it.
Well, but they need to add. I think they need to add more television writers into the mix. Just to structure story, not to write the story, but structure it in a way where they, like you said, that had television writers working on it as well as wrestling. I think there was only a few wrestling guys on Lucha Underground. One of them was Chavo Guerrero. He was like one of the big ones. They structured it. They structure it in a way that it's like, I mean, I always fall back to Game of Thrones. It's like, you know, you go 3 episodes without the Hound, and then the Hound would pop up. They know how long to go before they start bringing guys back, and
leave them out just long enough that
just long enough for you to miss them and almost forget about them if the rest of the storylines are intriguing, right? And then you bring them back. So it's like, I think that obviously could be completely wrong. This is conjecture, but I think that the wrestling mindset, especially like you get the older guys, that it's if just 2 guys, Hangman and Bryan Danielson, if that's working, do it next week too. Because back in the day, you weren't in the same city. And they continue to
if I can just
fall
interject
back
real
on
quick.
these things. Please do, because
I think one of the issues that we do have is that there are live shows every week, and people that pay tickets want to see certain people, so they got to be on TV. Now you can space them out and put them on Rampage. You can space them out and put them on Dynamite, depending on what, you know, where you're at in a storyline. But they're not going to be on Dark or Dark Elevation because that's the warm-up show. So you have 2 options. You're going to be on every week. Just you're either going to be on Wednesday or you're going to be on Friday because they got to be on TV. Matt Jackson thought he couldn't be off TV for more than 2 weeks because, you know, like God forbid he just not be on TV because I fought COVID and I won.
Brandon, I'm going to read you real quick just a description of one episode of Lucha Underground. It's season 1, episode 2.
All right, here we go.
Los Demonios was the title of the episode. Katrina warns Blue Demon Jr. of 1,000 deaths. Mundo and Puma are feeling vengeful. There you go.
What is that from?
That's the description on Tubi.
Tubi, okay.
Of Lucha Underground. And just so you know, in case you were wondering, maybe you don't want to watch this, the picture for the little thumbnail for the first episode of Lucha Underground is Conan.
That is tumor. Whatever happened to Conan?
Conan the hernia.
just Conan his hernias. Well, the best part about that was
intrigue there. No. You please.
I was going to say the best part about that was when Conan showed up the whole time. Fucking Vampiro, who I think hated him in real life, was like, "You got to watch this guy. He's a piece of shit," and he wouldn't stop the whole time. He's like, "Conan's a snake in the fucking grass, man. This guy's a piece of shit."
Imagine if Penta El Zero Miedo, who we're going to talk about in a minute, so his brother. This is a little throwback to you, Lucha Underground watchers. His brother Phoenix dislocates his elbow. He's out for a while in AEW. Happened last week. So Penta El Zero Miedo decides he wants to get revenge and reverts back to his Lucha Underground evil skeleton ninja days and just goes around and starts breaking everybody's arms. That'd be amazing.
That would be great.
That'd be a way to get guys off TV for a while. Like, you want to go on vacation? Penta El Zero Miedo broke your arm. That'd be amazing. They go to fucking Hawaii for 2 weeks. They come back. Oh, my arm's healed.
Hey, I'm good now.
That would be entertaining.
Yeah. What we get isn't. Any final thoughts on whatever the fuck we were talking about before? Because we're going to move on. Brandon?
I got no idea what we were talking about.
Okay, no, neither do I. All right, so Penta El Zero Miedo faced Matt Hardy. And you say to yourself, yeah, this is going to suck. This stinks. Yeah, it did stink. But Malachi Black comes out. The lights go off. Malachi Black comes out. He gets living shit kicked out of him by Penta El Zero Miedo. The Varsity Blondes with Julia Hart with her fucking pirate patch. Then the lights go out again. The crowd seemed to know before we did. And Brody King makes his first appearance from where the fuck was he? Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor.
He comes in and beats the shit out of everybody. And then they do a pretty rad ass fucking double team move. Brandon, thoughts? Are you familiar with Brody King?
Not really, no. I think I've seen him like a couple times Ring of Honor. I forget if he was at that one Ring of Honor live show that we went to, but yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
this was crazy tattoos. Interesting way to get to a surprise Brody King debut was bringing Matt Hardy and Penta out there. So, they really they took the long.
I got to say this is probably injury related. This probably had to do with Phoenix being hurt. It was probably supposed to be a tag match or something. They had to shuffle some shit around. They're like, "Hey Matt, we haven't seen you in the ring for a while. Let's see what you can do."
Yeah. So I don't know how the hell that tied into fucking Malachi Black though. That's the part that I'm confused about. I guess they were in like that trios feud. Or am I getting that?
Yeah,
why
are they mad at him?
I don't know why Malachi Black gives a fuck about either of these people.
Why Penta's mad at Malachi Black? Chris, do you remember why Penta is?
I have no idea. I think Tony Khan gets a boner when they unveil people. I think that was just to get this guy the fuck out of there. Yeah.
Or like, I see there's so many dudes with tats.
We need another one. Tats.
Honestly, it doesn't matter. I'm a fan of something not being so obviously traced out for weeks and just letting something happen live that you didn't expect to see when you turn the 2-hour program on. And then Julia Hart's like she's yelling and saying, "Hey, don't beat up Malachi Black." She's that vampire blood's seeping into her skin. So I think we are going to get what you suggested. They'll probably just make it take a lot longer than I thought. Also, they're called the Kings of the Black Throne. This is the faction.
The toilet.
That's what I was thinking. Kind of a weird name, because in your head you imagine if they're the kings of one throne, somebody's sitting on somebody else's lap, or someone's got to sit on the armrest. So what's get a multiple kings on one throne? That's just not how kings work.
Do we have a round table? We get the king in one, and everybody else sits in other chairs. Why are we all sitting in the same chair here?
There's no multiple kings for one throne. This isn't how things work.
They're stacking them.
That's my
They're
hot
all
take.
stacked together. Chris, thoughts on how many people can fit on the throne?
I got a pump toilet in my basement.
A pump toilet? What's that mean?
That means the toilet's lower than the drainage line for the sewer line. So you have to pump the poop up in the air and then back down.
Oh, cool.
How many people
that's all I
could you
got.
get on that?
With
How many
my
kings
ass,
could you fit on that?
How many kings?
Yeah.
Three kings.
Three kings.
Balthazar,
There you go.
Malazar, and Trelazar.
Tralazar.
Tralazar. I forgot about that guy. Was he in the Bible? All right, let's move on. Nothing else worth talking about on this show. The main event was Sammy Guevara versus Daniel Garcia, the interim TNT Championship, which Cody is not going to come back and win because he's, according to the internet, leaving and going to WWE because that makes complete sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
he's going to be
Rampage.
riding. The clock's going to turn down, going to hit 0 at the Royal Rumble, and you're going to hear woo, dun, dun, and Ric Flair is going to come down from the ceiling with Cody Rhodes sitting on his shoulders. And then Cody Rhodes, he'll go right into the ring, and Cody Rhodes will just be standing there.
Oh, yeah, okay, gotcha. It's he's a human bungee cord.
Yeah.
There you
go. Like what Sting went, it'll just be his head. Woo, woo, woo. Gosh. Garfield. Woo, 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 woo.
Looking for his yogurt. Is my yogurt down here?
What's my yogurt? What's my yogurt?
My body's made of yogurt.
Alligators down my yogurt. Woo, woo. The edge and lead a sex show. Woo, 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 woo.
My yogurt. All right. Nothing to talk about on Rampage. Rampage stunk. Layla Hirsch and Chris Statlander are going to feud. That's all I got. Rampage stunk. There were some highlights of Dynamite, but nothing that you need to go out of your way to watch. Even the Brody King reveal was cool, but the match itself leading into it wasn't great. But yeah, not a great week for AEW Dynamite. You got any final thoughts, Brandon? Anything I missed?
No, everything that we just breezed over, I'm glad that we did. That did stink. Yeah. Final thoughts. I think we've discussed this many times. They're kind of worked themselves into a bit of a hole here where everybody's got to get into a faction because you can't have a clean match without one. So we got a lot of that again this week. The stuff that wasn't that, Lance Archer coming back, Cody Rhodes getting booed just the announcement of his return. Those things kind of interesting. So
yeah. All right. So this week we get TNT champion Cody Rhodes because the other guy's an interim. He returns this week. Is this the one where he announces he's going to leave forever? Everybody cheers. And then he goes, I lied, and signs his contract and then takes a piss in the ring. Literally. Brandon, thoughts?
So Cody Rhodes is going to announce that he's leaving. He's going to sign a WWE contract and take a piss in the ring. Is that what we're predicting?
No, the other way around.
Oh,
the other announced he wasn't leaving. He's going to sign a TNT or a AEW contract, and then he's going to take a big old fucking pee in the ring.
And he's going to jump on Ric Flair's back and fly out of there. Woo!
Car shield. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I could see something like that happening. We'd be lucky if we get that.
Yeah, it's not going to be that fun. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
All right, how about this one?
Trying to figure out how to watch Lucha.
One question. When's the last TNT title match that you can recall fondly? Has there been one?
Cody versus
a
good one.
I recall
the fire one. The Death one against Andrade. Wasn't that Cody? Wasn't that a TNT match?
Yeah. Wasn't it?
Yeah. That might have been Sammy Guevara might have been champ then.
I recall
Cody didn't defend that thing, right?
No, he didn't. Chris, go ahead.
I recall every match that Miro had as the TNT championship.
Yeah, there you go. Miro.
Everything that Miro was involved in was good.
That's months ago.
Mm-hmm. He hasn't been on TV. But we're getting fucking
couple of bozos.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Sting and Darby Allin versus the Acclaim. Did you catch the Acclaim's hip hop video with in the snowy confines of some abandoned school? Brian?
A couple of old men going through a goth phase or something like that. Was that the song?
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of funny. You could trash him over that.
It's okay. It was fine.
Whatever.
Chris, what were your thoughts?
I fell asleep.
Yeah, okay. Chris, Brandon's bending down and grabbing something. It's just Chris Jericho's stupid face staring at me now. Serena Deeb versus Sky Blue. So here we go. Serena Deeb mutilating people for the next 6 months before Hikaru Shida comes back from vacation. Brandon, thoughts?
Right. So this was what you guys were saying earlier. At the end of that match, all these other female wrestlers come out to like stop the madness with Serena Deeb. So I guess now she's got to face all of them just because they're disrespected by her lack of integrity is the storyline here. So nah, not very interesting.
Chris, thoughts?
Chris has disappeared. I'm looking at a toy cabinet right now.
Oh, it's good. All right. How about this one? This should excite you. FTR versus Lee Johnson and Brock Anderson.
This is Dynamite?
This is Dynamite. Man who is botching all over fucking Dark Elevation. Brandon,
Brock
Anderson.
Slipping on banana peels on the used tube.
Yep. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Man, yeah, this is bad. That's already an hour they probably took up with just pure crap.
Uh-huh. CM Punk versus the 10-man. The chairman, Sean Spears. This looks fucking terrible.
I'm going to watch this match with the thought in my head just being, does this guy at any point do something that could make someone love him or interested in him? I think the answer is going to be no, but now that I know he has diehard fans, I'm going to try to watch it and be like, how could he possibly acquire even one diehard fan? So,
right. Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander versus Adam Cole and Dr. Britt Baker at DMD. I'm telling you, we better have women versus fucking dudes in this match, or I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, is this a mixed tag here?
Yeah,
they're going to do that thing where they have to get out.
Where they have to get out, that's fucking corny. Chris, thoughts?
I mean, if they do that thing where they got to get out, it will be dumb. And if they don't have to do that thing where they got to get out, it'll be awesome.
There you go.
I mean, it's really,
Nothing. House of Black versus the Varsity Blondes. And Blondes is spelled wrong on this website. It's spelled Blonds, no E. Blondes.
Professionalism at its best.
Yeah, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I think we could work for any of these websites as long as we don't want to get paid, because none of these motherfuckers get paid. Get paid in experience, Chris.
Yeah, baloney.
House of Black versus Varsity Blondes. Go ahead. What do you think?
I have nothing against the Varsity Blondes. I don't think they stink. I don't really care about them. They're a good babyface team that could lose.
Generic.
This should be fun. I like those throwback teams, like those 80s. That's an 80s throwback generic fucking team. I like it.
Yeah, Pillman does that thing where, first of all, he has the mullet and the poofy hair, but he does that thing where he pulls his hands up to his chest and he's like, "Come on, let's go."
Yeah, it's like so
come on,
fucking
come on.
WCW
Let's
Saturday
fucking
night.
do this. Marty Jannetty, motherfucker. Yeah, I'm into it too. We also got an announcement that John Moxley will be on the show.
Is that that's
Dynamite?
Dynamite. I'm sorry.
No, he will be here in the flesh. I don't know if he's going to be doing anything, but he'll be back. So
maybe they should.
Good for him.
Maybe they should do a gimmick since he's been having problems with drinking. Maybe they should do a gimmick where he's a drunk. He could fall off the ramp, and then he could climb to the top, and then somebody can go out and get him, and he'll fall.
Yeah, he falls off the back.
Mm-hmm.
Puke. Wasn't it Puke that was going to get him?
It was Draws. That guy's paralyzed.
R.I.P.
No, he's alive. He's just he's dead.
He's dead to me.
Now.
Yeah.
His toes aren't.
He's alive, but his toes ain't.
Oh boy! All right. That's all I got. You got anything else you want to talk about?
I'm gonna see him sitting in his wheelchair outside of my house, like in the middle of the street.
With the tube.
You're talking shit. I don't know that he talks like that, but that seems.
Apparently, he's got a really good. I mean, from everything I've seen, interviews and everything, ever since it happened, he's got a real good sense of humor about it. So power to him, man.
Just awoken by the sound of his van ramp moving down onto the ground.
Beep, beep. Draws is here.
Is that a handicap van ramp? Always here.
Draws' ride is a ride. The Draws mobile. Oh my god. Any final thoughts?
Bedroom.
Any
Draws is outside.
I'll be looking out my window. Just see my eye.
Taking a peek to see if when's the Royal Rumble? A couple of weeks. We got 2 weeks. So,
fucking Saturday
It's
night.
usually the last weekend of the month.
yeah, I definitely am not watching it.
I don't understand.
Maybe Bailey?
This,
Well, maybe Bailey will be in it.
I don't understand this Saturday night thing. Seems very strange to me to condition people to have pay-per-views on Sunday nights for the last fucking 30 years, and then all of a sudden you turn
Switching it
around
up,
and put it on
yeah.
Saturday. I just don't think. Honestly, I mean, if you're trying to, I think that's an idiotic idea.
I don't know.
Somebody approached it like, "Oh, this is a great idea." I don't think it's a good idea. Saturday night.
Well,
fucking
hold on.
pay-per-views.
Is there NFL playoffs this night?
Yeah,
so, 'cause-
I would. Yeah, I would guess so. But
well, the Sunday of the 29th, because then you get the week off afterwards, and then the Super Bowl is this year is the second Sunday of February because of COVID, I think.
yeah, it could have been a booking issue too. Maybe they just weren't be able to get the buildings because everything with COVID, and then there was a mad rush, with people trying to book events, and that could have just screwed them because the Rumble's always the week between the NFC AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. It's the off week.
Right. So
Maybe they couldn't get it.
Yeah, they'd already committed to this weekend, and the NFL had moved shit around because of COVID protocol.
Well, they added a week to their
Right.
season, so that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more likely what's going on. I'm curious because we always get our ratings numbers, and I don't really give a shit about ratings, but I'm curious to see what happens because they had a playoff game on Monday Night Football this year, which they never do.
That's a new thing too. It's going to be every year now.
Raw's numbers get the shit kicked out of them or not. I mean, I'm sure they did.
Well, from what I understand, from what I've always heard, that gets taken into consideration when you project your numbers. Is like, Monday Night Football, we're fucked from September to January, September to the end of December. Now it's going to be January because they're going to add that extra week, and there's the extra playoff game. They're going to put that on Monday night as well. So,
right. I'm just curious. Interesting stuff. Anything else you want to talk about, Brandon?
No, I'm good.
Gross.
Let's call it.
I don't think I got anything.
No, and we ain't got shit to talk about. I mean, Mox is coming back next week, and then we got the new tag team of the Black Toilet Bros. So hopefully we got something to look forward to.
The Black Toilet Bros.
Alistair Black and the Black Toilet. What's his name? Malachi Black and the Black Toilet Bros.
It's Alistair Black, right? Malachi Black and Brody King.
The
He's
Toilet
king.
King.
Black Lip Mafia.
Black Throne Mafia. They just come rolling to the rings. Go ahead.
Somebody for Christmas gave me a Tushy, like one of those.
Yeah, just try it out.
But it's black, so it's. I feel like it's just weird. Who has a black toilet except for the Black Toilet?
Alistair Black.
Alistair Black.
Wait,
Toilet
they gave
Mafia.
you. Hold on, they
Black
gave you
Toilet Mafia. That's who they are.
Tushy.
BTF.
What is this? Oh, it's
like a bidet that
bidet.
you like snap onto your toilet, but it's black. So you have a white toilet with this like plastic black butthole cleaner like clicked onto the top of it. I just
How you enjoying it?
feel like that's real trash. I didn't plug it in. I feel like that's real trash.
Brandon, what's more important to you, aesthetics or clean ass? I'm just curious.
Dude.
Sounds like aesthetics is more important than
telling
a clean butthole.
Fucking bidet is the way. You're fucking up, dude.
That should
You
be the first,
have one?
That should be the first T-shirt of our podcast.
Yeah, bidet
Wrestling
is
is hard as wrestling is hard. Bidet is the way.
No, when I was in
never
Japan,
used one.
every toilet has a bidet. They have the greatest toilets in the history of the planet.
Don't they have like a remote on them on the side? Did you try
I don't
any of
know.
those?
The pit.
Well, they have
toilet.
it.
That's
What?
the
You have like a remote, like my wife can get from the other room can squirt water up my asshole.
Oh, woohoo!
No.
Playing
No, they
tricks
have
on me.
controls on the side. It's amazing. Heated seats. They're
That's-
$1,000. Trust me, I
that's
looked into it.
weird, the heated seat. Like, is
Oh,
it like
it's
a
awesome.
cushy seat?
No, it's hard.
Okay, maybe
So
that's
wait,
hard, like my
$1,000? That seems. I'm sorry, but that's I find it to be relatively cheap for anal
it is.
joy.
No, it is, but I mean, I guess I didn't go into it. We want to remodel our bathroom, so I'm not
Yeah,
putting
so
a
you can't buy
$1,000 toilet
shit.
in until the bathroom's remodeled. My bathroom is freezing. My bathroom is so fucking cold. Just imagine like having to sit on a rock when you take a shit out in the fucking wilderness in in the middle of winter. That's what it's like to go sit on my toilet right now.
Or like a trough in a NASCAR race up at the Poconos.
Yes, exactly. It's like taking a dump in a trough in the freezing cold at a
Next
NASCAR
to
race.
Smart Mark Sterling.
Smart Mark Sterling. Who the fuck is this guy?
So you're dreaming about that hot seat.
Oh, I love it. It was amazing. They also have this weird thing where they have the public bathrooms. They have a button you hit, so it makes it so this way you can't hear farts. But everybody's got to know that you're taking a shit because it plays this like song. So instead of shit sounds, it's just everybody's hitting the button with the song on it. Like this motherfucker shit. No, it was like a weird staticky sound. Like it was weird, man. Japan's toilet's amazing.
Somebody thought of that. There was probably a boardroom, like there was a think tank of scientists that figured out what the perfect pitch was to block out every fart. And it was static and woo.
Yep.
I want to be on that team.
Yes.
I want to do that for a living.
That's a good gig.
You know, every single train stop in Japan throughout the entire country has a different jingle. And one man created them all.
Guy's probably a billionaire now.
Probably not.
Wish I was that dude.
Yep. Any more questions about toilets or jingles?
No, I'll let you know if I try it. I don't think I can do it.
Has anybody, speaking of
spray paint.
Instagram Reels, has anybody stumbled upon
We
this?
didn't mention that on the podcast, but go ahead.
No, I don't give a shit. Speaking of it, has anybody, because this is wrestling related, has anybody stumbled across this Tech 9 song with The Rock in it?
No, I have no idea what that is.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon?
It's about drive. It's about power.
It is the most embarrassing thing I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Why?
Because it's The Rock rapping.
How old is The Rock now? Is this new?
It's got to be relatively new, right?
Yeah, it's
Well,
like
whatever.
I know the whole
I'll
thing.
rap.
It's like that's like one of the
Go ahead, give
big
it to me.
TikTok.
Give me
things.
some bars. Give me some bars.
He goes, it's about drive. It's about power. Something fuck. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours. That's what he says.
And I got Samoan blood. He says that at some point.
It's about drive.
But
it's pretty cringy.
It's fucking terrible. And it's in my reels. I've been doing this thing where I've been going through my reels and I've been hitting not interested on a bunch of shit to clean out my algorithm because it's so fucking bad. Yeah.
They must have caught on to that lady with the
Oh,
exercise
yeah.
hip
I
lady. They
haven't
must have
seen
call on to
that.
her because I haven't seen her in
What do you mean
months.
caught on to her?
Well, they catch on that she's got multiple accounts promoting her shit.
Okay, promoting
They
her shit.
start shutting shit down.
Is that what they do?
Yep. Someone complained.
Instead of just hitting, she disappeared from my feed. It
Yeah, I
went
think
from
it's wrong.
her. It went from her to hot women with gray hair, and
Yeah,
were
you
only
did get
around
that
for
is
like
a
a day
weird
or
thing.
two. They
There's
were only
hot
down for like a
gray-haired
day.
women you got. That's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, that popped up, and yeah, it was. I mean, I didn't have a problem with that. It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Mine. What's that?
They were like in their 30s. These women, they just had
Yeah, they just had gray hair.
Yeah,
mine was Korean pop stars for a while. It still is actually, because I follow a lot of Japanese women's
Not
wrestlers. They're
surprised
like,
to
you're
hear
old and horny, bro. You're an old horny man.
You probably like K-pop.
That's what it is.
You look
You
like
like
horny man.
K-pop.
You
look like one of those. You look like you might be one of those dudes that sits in the front row of TJPW with a little shoulder bag,
sweating profusely,
sweating and not applauding, just staring like
just
That is the
horrible
weirdest
posture
thing.
and like a pink hoodie.
That is the weird shit. Like I went to a women's show, but I went to a YMZ, so it's like a comedy one over there in Corkin Hall, and everybody in the crowd was having so much fun, and they were interacting and cheering and having a good time. And these Stardom and TJPW fucking fans were just like,
Yeah, that's horrific.
It's creepy.
and not just those dudes. That sound you made was fucking horrific.
Yeah, that too.
Uh,
Oh God, he's drooling.
There's not enough people at those shows for pervs to feel comfortable sitting there.
They don't care.
You can see them in the background. There's like 8 of them in the first 3 rows. Just
And they all sit on an angle.
Yeah, they're always like
Yeah.
they're covering their bone. They're crossing their legs to
little-
cover the bone. Their little bone.
No bone.
Lack of
tuck
bone.
it up in the waistband, trying to pull their hoodie over it so it doesn't slip.
Like
Little tip
Larry
doesn't slip out.
Larry David had the first episode.
I'm going to expose myself since we're a live medium. So I ordered from we're a video medium now. I ordered a print from Ice Ribbon. This woman, Yappy, she does like hand drawn pictures of
You nerd.
the wrestlers. Here we go. Look at this. So I get them framed. I'm gonna get them framed and put them all over the wall. That's Suzu Suzuki. There you go. But this is
Magnum
what
Brown?
they send you. Hold on. This is what they send you. You ready for the horn dog stuff?
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, so I get a little like, okay, there's the Ice Ribbon, like it's their book and it's got all the girls in it. Okay, cool. I get a poster from one of the shows. Very cool. Look, that's cool. I don't know what the fuck this is. They sent me this. You could tell me. Here's Thekla. She's in Stardom now.
Okay.
But then they sent me this.
Suzuki.
She's 19, dude.
Jesus.
the
She's
trash.
fucking 19. I'm
Right in the trash.
I'm not saying how old I am. I'm way too old. She's older than my daughter. There you go.
Younger.
It's funny.
They know their
It's
audience.
funny to just imply that you're like, this guy's got to have a fetish.
This guy's a fucking horn dog.
This guy's
I mean, I am a horn dog, but not for. I don't cross my streams, man. I also got DVDs too. Can you believe that? They sent me all these DVDs. They
That's
sent me
how
all this
well
shit.
they're
Like,
selling.
That's
it says,
a lot
it
of
says
stuff.
wait, it says it's worth 3,000 yen at $30.
And they just
They
sent
also
that
told
to
me I
you
have a
for
huge
free?
credit. I overpaid. So I got all this stuff. There you go.
How do you overpay?
I don't
just,
know.
like,
I guess
name the
I
price?
did translation. I did something. You know what I did? I calculated in
Like
it's
cash
they don't-
apping somebody for this stuff?
No, they can't. OnlyFans. I ended up overpaying for shipping. The shipping translation was
Hmm.
off. And they're paying a shit ton for shipping. So they sent me all this stuff and they were like, hey, you've got all this money left over if you want to buy more stuff. I don't, because I don't want any more creepy
You
pictures
want
of
any
fucking
more
19-year-olds.
kinky posters?
I don't want any more kinky. Look, hey, look, it's like we're dating.
Just put that up like across from the toilet on the wall. See what your
The
wife
the black
says.
throne. See what my wife says. I'll put it across from our black throne.
There you go.
When we're double stacked on the black throne, sitting on top of each other.
Oh no,
Where'd this picture come from? Do
it's beautiful.
you think they're dumping
But you-
between each other's legs on the black throne,
Yeah, of course.
or do you think they're sitting like they're like meshed together, so chest to chest on top
Yeah,
of each other?
I think top
That's the
guy
way-
or
that's what-
bottom guy sits normal shit, and then Brody King straddles him.
Straddles
And
them tight as possible.
between the
Takes the
seat and
dump
his
between
balls.
his balls, ball poop.
No.
Yes. Yes.
And then like a bidet, Aleister Black pulls his penis up and pees into his butt.
Keep that shit clean with a saline solution.
We're getting taken off YouTube.
All right.
Grand opening, grand closing.
Got to put the big boy
All right.
on top.
On that note,
you imagine?
thanks for joining us this week. Join us here every week at Wrestling is Hard. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard_wrestling. Subscribe and follow. Tell your friends. And for Brandon and Chris, I'm Jim. We will be back here next week.